What if the secret to living longer isn't about what we eat, but about what we don't eat? For centuries, people have searched for ways to extend life: exotic diets, miracle supplements, cutting-edge medicine. But one of the most fascinating and controversial ideas is actually very simple: fasting. Some scientists believe that giving your body regular breaks from food could slow down aging, improve health, and maybe even help us live longer. It sounds almost too good to be true. Could skipping meals really hold the key to longevity? In this video, we're going to explore the science behind fasting, the myths, the risks, and whether it can truly add years to your life. Fasting might sound like a trendy modern health hack, but in reality, it's one of the oldest practices in human history. Almost every culture and religion has some form of fasting or food restriction, often tied to both physical and spiritual well-being. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Pythagoras and Socrates practiced fasting, believing it sharpened the mind and purified the body. In many religions, fasting is a path to discipline, reflection, and renewal. For example, Muslims fast during Ramadan, Christians have periods of fasting like Lent, and Buddhists often abstain from food to strengthen spiritual focus. What's fascinating is that long before modern science, people noticed that taking breaks from food seemed to bring clarity, resilience, and sometimes even better health. Today, science is catching up with what ancient traditions suggested. Maybe fasting does something powerful inside our bodies. In the last few decades, fasting has moved from ancient tradition into the spotlight of modern science. Researchers began to test a simple but bold idea: if fasting can change how the body works, could it also extend life? The first clues came from animal studies. Experiments on worms, fruit flies, and mice showed that when their calories were restricted, sometimes by as much as 30 to 40%, they lived significantly longer. Not only that, but they stayed healthier for a longer time, with fewer age-related diseases. One of the most groundbreaking discoveries came in 2016, when Japanese scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize for his research on autophagy, the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells and recycling their components. Autophagy becomes much more active during fasting, which means your body literally goes into a repair mode when food is scarce. Other studies suggest fasting improves insulin sensitivity, lowers inflammation, and protects against conditions like diabetes, Alzheimer's, and even certain cancers. While it's too early to say fasting is a guaranteed path to longer life in humans, the evidence is promising, and it's growing every year. Not all fasting looks the same. In fact, there are several approaches, and each affects the body in slightly different ways. 1. Caloric restriction. This means consistently eating fewer calories every single day, usually about 20 to 30% less than normal. Studies on animals show this can extend lifespan, but it's very difficult for humans to maintain long-term. 2. Intermittent fasting. Probably the most popular today. This isn't about what you eat, but when. For example, the 16/8 method means fasting for 16 hours and eating only within an 8-hour window. Another version is the 5:2 approach, where you eat normally for 5 days of the week and limit calories on the other 2. 3. Extended fasting. This involves going without food for 24 hours or more. Some people practice 48 or even 72-hour fasts, though this should be done carefully and usually under supervision, because the risks grow with duration. Each method has its supporters and critics. What they all share, however, is the idea of giving your body breaks from constant eating, so it can switch on repair processes and potentially slow down aging. So, what exactly happens when we fast, and why do scientists think it might help us live longer? Let's break down some of the key benefits that research points to. 1. Better brain function. When you fast, your brain produces more of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This helps create new neurons and strengthens existing connections, which could protect against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Many people also report feeling mentally sharper and more focused during fasting. 2. Heart health. Fasting has been linked to lower blood pressure, improved cholesterol levels, and reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, all of which are major factors in how long we live. 3. Reduced inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is often called a silent killer because it contributes to many age-related diseases. Fasting helps lower markers of inflammation, giving the body a chance to heal. 4. Gut and cellular repair. Periods without food trigger processes like autophagy and stem cell regeneration, allowing the body to clean up damaged cells, repair tissues, and reset the gut microbiome. In short, fasting doesn't just affect weight, it influences almost every system in the body, creating conditions that might delay the aging process and protect long-term health. As exciting as the benefits sound, fasting is not a magic solution, and it's definitely not for everyone. Just like any powerful tool, it comes with risks if used incorrectly. 1. Nutrient deficiency. If fasting is done too aggressively, it can lead to not getting enough essential vitamins, minerals, and protein. Over time, this may cause fatigue, weakened immunity, and muscle loss. 2. Energy and mood swings. In the beginning, many people feel irritable, lightheaded, or have trouble concentrating. This is often called the fasting adaptation phase, but for some, it never really goes away. 3. Medical conditions. Fasting can be dangerous for certain groups. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, people with type 1 diabetes, eating disorders, or chronic illnesses should avoid fasting unless under strict medical supervision. 4. Muscle loss. Long, repeated fasts without proper nutrition in between can cause the body to break down muscle tissue, which actually shortens lifespan rather than extending it. So while fasting may offer incredible benefits, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It requires balance, knowledge, and often medical guidance. So, let's come back to the big question: can fasting actually make us live longer? In animals, the answer is a clear yes. Countless studies show that calorie restriction and fasting extend lifespan. But in humans, the story isn't so simple. We don't yet have long-term studies proving that fasting directly increases lifespan, and maybe we won't for decades. What we do know is that fasting improves many of the factors that influence how long and how well we live: better heart health, improved brain function, lower risk of chronic diseases, and more efficient cellular repair. In other words, even if fasting doesn't guarantee you'll live to 120, it can help you feel younger, healthier, and more energetic right now. So perhaps fasting isn't a miracle cure for aging, but rather a powerful tool to improve both the quantity and quality of life, if it's practiced wisely. Fasting has been part of human life for thousands of years, first as tradition, now as science. While researchers continue to explore whether it can truly extend human lifespan, one thing is clear: giving your body a break from constant eating can unlock powerful benefits. But remember, fasting isn't a magic trick. It's a tool. And like any tool, it works best when used with knowledge, balance, and respect for your own health. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried intermittent fasting or another type of fasting? What changes did you notice in your energy, focus, or health? Share your experiences in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else on their journey. And if you'd like to learn more about safe fasting methods and practical tips, stay tuned for future videos. Until then, eat wisely, fast responsibly, and take care of the most important thing you own: your health.